my hot takes is me actually saying stuff that's been grinding my gears more or less, and we all go in for the kill. This one is slightly different. Now, I want to talk about Crunchyroll Expo's Masquerade. Up until that point, when we were discussing virtual conventions as a whole, the one thing I kept saying is that they need to do something great with the Masquerade. Have people do some type of skit, submit the video, and just play it for everybody. Something like that. Most conventions, all they're doing was basically just, you do your cosplay, you submit a couple of photos of it, and that's it. And basically the judges will come on to the stream or whatever and say who won, or they'll post on the website. That's basically what I've seen done. But Crunchyroll didn't do that. They actually had two hosts, Vampy Bitme and Mario Bueno, a friend of the show, virtually hosting this masquerade. They had all the contestants hanging out on Zoom talking to each other, and it was great. Basically what they would do is introduce the cosplayer. They would have the cosplayer's video come on. They would talk about their cosplay for about, I'd say, 30 seconds, give or take. And then they would go right into the skit they were doing or the video footage of their cosplay and so forth. And on the screen, you could see like their socials if you wanted to connect with them. And this is something I've been saying that cons need to do. And Crunchyroll did it. And uppity as it may seem, they set the bar for virtual conventions, and I expect other conventions to follow suit and do something similar. You want to get your virtual conventions. You got people coming in for your guests and your panels. You want to get those cosplayers to come hang out. You need to have yourself a nice, epically masquerade of sorts like that. Crunchyroll did it. It's not hard to do. Other cons, hop on it. I want to see that. Let's roll with that, please. You have something like that, I will sit down for 2.5 hours and watch all of this. Even though, like, 3 of my friends that are in the masquerade and 2 of them won, congrats to them. If more conventions are doing that, I am all for it. I will sit there and watch and just communicate with everybody else in regards to it. So that's really my take, and I really feel that Crunchyroll set the bar for virtual masquerades, and I'd love to see more. I'd love to see what more they can do with that. So, it didn't help. Plus, you had Jez Roth, who runs the School of Cosplay out of Vegas. He was running the virtual green room dressed as Elvis. That was that was the tops right there. That was tops right there. And I remember him talking about making the LeMay jumpsuit too. I was like, that was just perfect. That was just too perfect. All right. So
get my All Funk Goes On remixes playlist going. SEGA will produce the adaptation of a Yakuza live-action Hollywood film. They'll come to life in a live-action adaptation of the popular Yakuza video game series from SEGA. Variety reported today that the video game giant was producing a film based on the second most popular franchise after Sonic the Hedgehog, with Eric Barmack's Wild Sheep Content and 1212 Entertainment. Barmack, who was previously the head of the international organization Originals at Netflix, will be producing the film with Robert Grand and Joshua Long. For fans excited to see the Yakuza games on a big screen, hold your go-karts because the producers are currently looking for a scriptwriter to adapt the video games for a more streamlined medium, meaning the film is likely pretty far off from production. So watching a live-action Cosmo going around saving dogs and beating up other Yakuza would be a lot of fun. And it leaves a little open-ended question about what you would like to see. I doubt it'll be possible, but the face that was it Majima makes when he comes across that one little room when it has all these grown-ass men dressed up and acting like little babies.
Mm-hmm.
That's a face of like, oh my god, I am actually going to have to fight all these grown-ass men in diapers. I am 893% done with this planet.
And I'm looking at this one screenshot. He looks like a very angry Matt Hardy.
How delightful!
God. Okay.
Was it Kiryu or was it Majima who was... Why the hell do I get these... Oh yeah, it was Kiryu who was in that scene I was talking about. I actually had that facial expression saved as a rotating desktop, but I'll have to share it on Dropbox or something, so you can know what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Oh, that gives me the first one.
For some reason, I thought Ichigo would have taken the first one, but I don't know.
I might be yandere, but I'm not that yandere.
No, that and I think John knows better. I think everybody on the show knows better.
So, yeah. Basically, Japanese Twitter user P-chan Papa mentioned that recently his wife has started keeping a daily list of little things she's thankful to him for. The things he's noticed her writing down include buying his wife some tea or spending a long time holding and playing with their 3-year-old daughter. Still, he couldn't help wondering why his wife was going to all the trouble. So he asked her, "How come you started doing this?" And her reply was, "So that I won't kill you someday." Apparently, his wife is putting together a running list of his good deeds, not because her bliss is too great to keep all of it inside of her heart, but as a reference document to look at when he's getting on her nerves or otherwise making her upset, in order to remind herself that he's not all bad and still does deserve to live. So obviously this has started, a bit of things online, one of which is marriage is terrifying. If she has to write down the little things you do for her, it sounds like you're not doing any big things. Sounds like you need to start making more of an effort if you don't want to be killed. In his replies, he readily admits that marriage can be terrifying, and he also says that he finds married life with his wife to be incredibly fun. He even praised her murderous motivation for the thank you list, saying she's the coolest. Making the effort not to kill your husband really is important. He also said he wholeheartedly agrees with one commenter who said, "Your wife sounds like a positive, grateful person with a great sense of dark humor." I talked to my wife a little more, he says in a follow-up, and she said she started writing the list so that she won't take obvious acts of kindness for granted. Can I just say that writing a list of why not to kill somebody completely defeats the purpose of, thinking about killing somebody?
I mean, I feel like what a lot of it is that maybe she wants to write them down because it helps her remember. I know growing up, if I wrote something down, I'm more likely to retain it. So I like the idea. I think that I enjoy dark humor. If anybody knows me, it's one of those things. I enjoy dark humor.
Me too.
And so it's just like, if they get it, if it's their in-joke, is very sweet. She's noticing it, and so he notices her noticing his actions, then he might be more willing to put in the work. And if they're putting the work into the relationship, then that's what matters.
That and killing her husband would actually be a lot more work than she's letting on, because you have to get rid of the body, hide the evidence, clean up the blood stains, all that stuff.
Well,
yeah, but at the same time, we've shown in some of the past articles for Japan that not everybody is as bright as they should be, and they kind of lose bodies quite often.
I would also have to say that one of the most gory and well-detailed thrillers that I've ever read was a Japanese-based one. So I would not be surprised if the body disappeared really easily.
Well, in regards to what you said, Ari, yes, it will all be a giant mess and so forth, but there's an easy way to fix that.
And what would that be?
You call 1-800 Mako-chan.
Yeah, but her fees are exorbitant.
But there's no body.
But it's worth it.
I know. Yes, I know.
Remember, the fees may be high, but there won't be a body. If you can't find a body, then you can't arrest the person.
I love that we're talking about this on Twitch, and I know that like somebody's listening in and going, ooh. Look, I went to college and took a lot of, criminology and cult classes and science classes. So unfortunately, yes, I do have the knowledge on what to do. However, for you Twitch people that are listening in, I would never do something like that. Give me a call.
And looking into our chat, Siatabiri has read the same book that I have. Yay, book club, Anime Jam Session Book Club, let's start one. Out by Natsuro Kirino. I found it in a thrift store when I was out in California, and I love thrillers, I love suspense and horror, and it is such a great book. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, Out by Natsuro Kirino is an awesome book, Ichigo approved. If you are sensitive to murder, violence, and those kind of horror things, maybe not, but if you are, go get 'em, Tiger.